Why plant Manuka and Indigenous species? Well, Manuka and Indigenous species are native species and they are the right tree in the right place. Manuka is a natural colonising plant, making way for the natural establishment of a New Zealand native forest. Also, Manuka produces Manuka honey. Manuka honey is the most valuable honey in the world at the present time. Manuka and Indigenous forests sequester carbon, just the same as a pine forest sequesters carbon. The biggest difference between a pine forest and an Indigenous forest is that the current emissions trading scheme ruling is that a pine forest can only sequester carbon for the first 18 years in the first cycle, and this is called the averaging system. So a pine forest sequesters approximately 700 tonnes of carbon in the first cycle, whereas an Indigenous forest becomes a permanent carbon sink, and over a 50-year period an Indigenous forest will also sequester approximately 700 tonnes of carbon. So the carbon sequestration rate is slower with an Indigenous forest, but it is longer term. But during this time, of course, the native forest, particularly if there's a high percentage of Manuka, is producing Manuka honey. Manuka honey is currently selling for in excess of $130 per kg for monofloral honey. So one hive produces approximately 20 kgs of honey, and at $130 per kg, that's $2,600 per hive. Now, the cost to run a hive per annum is approximately $350, including the cost of labour. So one hive per hectare, which is a low stocking rate, this compares very favourably to pine forestry, even if you take into account the internal rate of return of the log value, pine forest, and of course it compares very favourably to beef and lamb. If you do your sums, over a 30-year period, you will find that the internal rate of return on Manuka and Indigenous forest is very similar to pine, but Manuka and Indigenous forest, of course, are the right tree in the right place. So Kauri Park produce Manuka plants of high UMF. We have Manuka of selections from provenances New Zealand wide, and we also produce a very wide range of other native plant species. We have 4 nurseries, and we are producing in excess of 10 million plants per annum, all native plants. So Kauri Park can tailor a plant suite that will survive and thrive in your region and in your climate. So contact Kauri Park Nurseries to discuss this further.